When members of the Gippsland Tobacco and Healthy Lifestyle team met in 2017 to work through the details of a significant information and training package to follow on from the highly successful work they'd been doing in this area to help their local Gippsland communities, it became obvious that there was a major obstacle standing in their way. 4 of them were still smokers themselves. It was an issue that they could no longer ignore. The elephant in the room.
The elephant in the room for us is that 4 of us tobacco action workers on a team of 6 are actual smokers ourselves. Yeah. And we have tried our quit journey before, and as you know,
with great courage, the group agreed to open up, to invite others to follow their personal quitting journeys, all captured on camera. The idea was to share the knowledge gained along the way, the things that work and the things that don't, how stress and the challenges of very busy lives can affect personal goals, the ups and downs and the tips gained along the way. They could see that their journeys were the same as the people they wanted to help, so they decided to invite others to join them on their personal quitting journeys.
I do go out of a weekend. I do a lot of socialising, but when I'm out, I could be inside with all my little, my little crew and all my friends, and a few of them will go outside for a smoke, and that's when I'll go. So in a way, it's sort of not pre-pressure, but sort of following them in a way.
Alcohol and smoking often go hand in hand. And the reason is that alcohol enhances the effects of nicotine. So if you are having a drink and then you smoke, it becomes much more pleasurable. Then smoking increases the urge to drink alcohol, and so it cycles. So people who smoke and use alcohol consistently tend to be more nicotine dependent and smoke more cigarettes. So that's a very strong association. And then, it's the social aspects too, that people will often, when they're smoking, say, let's have a drink together, and vice versa. The good news is that if you have a problem with alcohol, so you're drinking more than is in the healthy recommendations, a big sort of question is whether I should quit smoking or focus on my alcohol, and the recommendation is actually to tackle both at the same time, because smoking is actually a trigger for your alcohol use. So it's and people who tackle both at the same time tend to meet their goals and stay off longer.
Drinking, like going out and socialising with other people, and just being around other people at the pubs and families and stuff like that, and just started smoking again. I think that's pretty much what triggered it back up. So I figured, well, I've got to stop. She wants me to. She doesn't like it, well, I've got to do it. Something I don't feel that I want to, but I have to. It's for her. It's generation. It's like a chain reaction. Yeah, you'd call it a chain reaction. See that one's smoking, so well, it's all right. They did it, so I can. And then it's got to keep going. Yeah, until somebody finally breaks that chain and doesn't smoke.
Everyone's motivations for quitting smoking are going to be different. Some will have a completely health angle. So we have a lot of clients who are having surgery. Surgery is a time, it's really stressful. Surgery is a risk. You've got to, sign a form that, says that this A, B and C could happen to you. And one of the biggest things that we know that can improve your chances of having an uneventful surgery, which is what you want, is to quit smoking. So for one client it might be health. For another client it might be they're trying to get pregnant. For another client it might be purely money. They might be in their early 20s, they're not even thinking about their health at that point. They're young, they're invincible, but they're on a minimum wage and they're not getting a whole lot of cash a week. And I always say to them, if someone gave you $100 or could give you $100 a week, what would you say? And I say, oh, well, I'd say yes. I say quit smoking, and that's exactly what will happen to you. So I think really working with what those motivators are and really breaking them down and bringing them back to what those motivators are in times of difficulty is really, really important to help them on their journey.
I've had a major shake-up in the last probably 3 months, actually. In the last 3 months, I've had a major shake-up in the sense of my health and my psychological health as well, my mental health as well. So I went into a bit of depressed mode because I wasn't looking after myself and I was putting things first and before myself and my own needs and my own health. So I've started to look at that bigger picture, and what we're doing now, committing to this journey, is starting to put myself first as well. So yeah, I'm slowly starting to get back to that point of putting myself first, because like I said earlier, if I can't look after myself and help myself first, how am I going to help others? Yeah, so.
One thing we do at the Aboriginal Quit Line is really provide a culturally appropriate service. So when we are talking to people, it's having that yarn, having that bit of knowledge behind where they've come from, so they can actually provide some really good advice on how they can move forward. And we always try to get the caller to pick their journey, and so we can support them to do that. That's not going to work for everyone. There are people that will quit in their own way, and that's fine as well. We just want to be offered as a service that really works, because when you look at the evidence and follow the best practice methods, things like using Quitline and nicotine replacement therapy products and using that behaviour change therapy is a really, really good way of quitting, and it's probably one of your best chances.
I've done several attempts, which has given me more power to try again. And I've got lots and lots of grandkids. I've got Aboriginal grandchildren who often come up to me and say, "Nan, you work at Leha. That's Aboriginal." I'm like, "Yeah." And they'll say, "But you're in the non-smoking team. Why are you smoking?" And yet my grandkids always pull me up on, "What are you smoking for, Nan?" And when they sit there and they talk to you about that kind of stuff, they learn that at school, which is good. And they want their Nan around. What do I say to that? "I know, honey, Nanny will do it soon. So now's the time."
Some will struggle more than others. Some will find it very difficult to change their lifestyle, as well as relate new strategies to old habits, especially when they've dealt with things like stress and work-related life and social atmospheres with cigarettes for their whole life. So I think it will be a big task for them to do, just like anyone quitting smoking. But I think the added pressure of having it documented and having it broadcasted, and that it gives them a bit more of a urgency to give it a bit more of a go, more than the normal person out that they would counsel to want to quit smoking. But yeah, they will find it a bit hard at first, but I think if they really dedicate and they're really set in their ways of wanting to quit, they will, in the end, see results. It'll work out for them.